Hey guys, I wanted to bring you up to speed with where we're at right now. So if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, you probably saw last week that we got rolling on soybeans a little bit. Weather was nice and we got out and got about 100 acres done. And then that night we got a little bit of rain and it's been kind of misty and foggy ever since then. And so we've been unable to go, even though we haven't had a ton of rain where it makes the fields muddy. We're able to drive in them, but what happens is the plants, first off, the plants will get kind of wet and it gets hard to thrash the beans out of the pods. They don't feed through the machine very nice, through the combine, and you end up spitting some of the beans out the back. So it gets pretty tough to harvest them like that. The other thing that happens when it stays wet for not too long of a period, the seeds, the actual seeds you're harvesting, those beans will take on moisture, and once they get up above a certain moisture percentage, you get docked at the elevators or wherever you're taking them. They don't want to take them at that higher moisture percentage. So we like to harvest them around 13% moisture, and the plant's got to be dry. We tried last week one afternoon after we had gotten some of the rains, and they were up around 16%, which is too much. So we weren't able to go that day. It's been kind of foggy and wet ever since then, but now we've got a good sunny, windy day right now, and so hopefully we'll be able to go later this afternoon. If we're not able to go later this afternoon, we're thinking it should go tomorrow. I don't see why it wouldn't, and the forecast for this week looks pretty good, so hopefully we can knock out a lot of acres this week. The other thing I wanted to touch on, which is probably going to be surprising to a lot of you who don't know much about farming, I wanted to mention how much we're doing right now to get ready for 2017. This morning, I'm actually on my way back now with a load of Roundup for 2017. So this Roundup isn't going to be sprayed until May or June of next year. But in order to get some of the early order discounts, you got to pay for it and pick it up this time of year right now. So we paid for it this morning. I'm bringing it home and we'll store it in the shed until next spring. That gets us a little bit better pricing on stuff. We also have spent a lot of time the last week talking to some of the seed dealers and putting some money down and getting some early orders in for next year's seed. All the seed companies pretty much have an early order discount, which will end sometime in October usually. So it's kind of tough when you haven't harvested yet to know which varieties are good and which types of seed you might want to plant next year. It's kind of tough to nail that down, but they ask that we do our best if we want to get the early order discounts to try and get some of that taken care of. We also spent some time last week and this morning figuring out what we're going to do for fertilizer. And we'll be putting the fertilizer down this fall with that chisel plow or that deep bander that I showed you in the last video. But we called around to all of our local suppliers and got prices and did a bunch of the math, and we're kind of trying to figure out what we want to do as far as fertilizer for next year's crop. So that's kind of where we're at right now. I didn't get any video of us harvesting last week yet, but we're going to be doing a lot of harvesting this week, so I'm sure I'll have another video out this week showing some of our soybean harvest. So stay tuned in.